the reason I started this podcast was because I just say the same thing 1,000 times a day. And I realized that when you're in an appointment, it's often hard to remember what the heck she talked about the whole time. So I started just recording 2 and 3 minute snippets of common things and common questions that I answer so that I could redirect my patients to like, hey, if you forget, this is me talking about it again. So here we go. I used to tell people as a physical therapist, I'm here if you need me, but I hope you don't. And I've had so many patients, like I run into them in the park, I run into them on the soccer field, I run into them in ShopRite. And they'll say to me, oh, Kelly, I've been meaning to call you. Right? Or I meant to send you an email, or I got your email and I meant to respond to it. And immediately, having been on the receiving end of hundreds of that type of conversation, my thought goes to like, oh no, what happened? Like, why do you all of a sudden need me and my services as a physical therapist? So I used to tell people, well, I'm here if you need me, but I hope you don't. Okay? I'm changing that because that's not what I mean. What I mean now is like, well, I'm here when you're ready. I'm ready when you are. Because short of 9th grade biology, where you probably weren't paying attention in the first place, and you definitely weren't, I mean, unless you went into the fields that I'm in, you weren't interested in the topics. You don't remember anything about cellular repair, cellular mechanisms, right? How your body heals, the impact that all of the biological factors have on your response to an injury. I do. I love this stuff. That's why I'm sitting here talking about it. Okay? So everybody needs the knowledge that we have as physical therapists because everybody's walking around in a body. And until the robots take over and we don't need bodies anymore, you're going to need to understand yours. So I used to say, I'm here if you need me, but I hope you don't. Now I say, I'm ready when you are, because that's more true. So let's see, what else do my notes say? So much of what I do as a PT is I tell everybody, we loosen the tight stuff and we strengthen the weak stuff. Okay, so many people are walking around with tight hips and weak glutes and painful feet and a low back that has always bothered them, and they can't pick up the groceries or they can't carry them, or they tore their Achilles taking out the garbage. That's a true story. So much of what I do is loosen the tight stuff and strengthen the weak stuff. Now, God bless them. We need good massage therapists out there. And God bless them, we need good personal trainers out there. But they focus on one of the, think of that like a seesaw, right? Loosen the tight stuff is on one side and strengthen the weak stuff is on the other side. A trainer is going to help you strengthen the weak stuff. A massage therapist is going to help you loosen the tight stuff. A physical therapist, a licensed practitioner, is going to help you do both, right? So much of what I do is just help people loosen the tight stuff, strengthen the weak stuff. And we identify that through a pretty rigorous physical exam. Any PT who's worth their salt is going to make you move and then going to test your strength. And test your strength not only with isolated muscle groups, but also in functional positions. Can you squat? Can you walk? Can you pick up and carry stuff? Can you go up and down the stairs? Right? There's so many functional positions that we need to look at people and decide like, yep, this is interfering with your life and here's how to fix it. So we loosen the tight stuff and we strengthen the weak stuff. That being said, your body's incredible, right? It's really good at healing itself. It's really good at maintaining what we call homeostasis. We're really bad at listening to it. Okay, it often talks to us and it often takes us weeks to start to listen, right? And sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes it'll just go away by itself. More often than not, I get a phone call, hey, this started bugging me 3 weeks ago or 3 years ago. Very rarely is it like 3 days ago that this started to hurt. So your body's completely incredible. and completely capable of healing itself. You just have to listen, and you have to give it the tools that it needs to be successful. Like, you got to get off your screens, and you got to sleep 8 to 10 hours a night, and you have to manage your stress, and you have to eat real food, and you have to hydrate, right? And you have to drink water and supply your blood with enough volume to deliver it to the tissues that need it to heal. Okay? So I've helped folks recover from surgery. I have helped folks hike national parks. I have helped people pick up their grandkids. That's what we do, and that's why I love what I do. But I could only help those people because they were ready for me to help them. So that's why I'm changing what I say to, I'm ready when you are. Instead of, I'm here if you need me, but I hope you don't. I'm ready when you are. You want to make your life better? You want to get out of pain? I'm here for it. And I'm here for you. But I'm ready when you are, because you have to be ready. Yeah, I can't force my will on anyone. You can't force your will on anyone, right? Every financial advisor out there has advice that they give every single day that they wish people would just follow. But people got to be ready to receive that advice. And it's the same thing with me as a PT. So I'm ready when you are. That being said, here's my 3 tips for today. Okay. Number 1, move in minutes. We get into this rut of thinking that we have to set aside 45-minute time slots or an hour time slot to move, and then we don't have to move for the rest of the day. And there's been study after study that shows like that's the wrong way to do it. It's better to do like 1 minute 45 times during the day than it is to set aside a 45-minute block. Okay, so think in minutes. You have 2 minutes while you're waiting for your son or daughter or granddaughter or whatever to get out of school. Like, get out of the car and walk around. Okay, you have a minute that you're waiting in line at CVS or the grocery store, stand on 1 foot. You have 5 minutes before your next meeting, like squat, move, do something. Because the other thing that does is it gives our eyes a break. Okay? You ever sit on your computer for like 3 hours at a time, and then your eyes get heavy and tired and your whole like face feels strange? It's because you weren't made to do that. You were made to like look up and scan for stuff and scan for threats and scan for food and all kinds of things. So it's better to do that in minutes. It's just better for us. Okay, so think about moving in minutes. Breathe. Right? A lot of us are walking around taking short, shallow breaths. We're only filling this top part of our lungs. Okay? You have a whole muscle down here called your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is what pushes the air out of your lungs. Okay? It's way down here. When I have us do big, deep belly breaths, we are training and using the full range of motion of that diaphragm. The same way I'd ask you to use the full range of motion of your shoulder or your hip or your foot or ankle, we have to train that muscle. Now, when we take big, full, deep breaths, we do a whole lot of good things for our nervous system, and we improve the blood circulation. Okay? Blood has good healing stuff in it. We need it to go into tissues and infiltrate the tissues and offer the nutrients that those tissues are craving. So, breathe. Okay? $0, lots of time, attention, effort, energy. And then last is we got to hydrate. And this goes back to blood. But when you increase your blood volume, it's physics. Okay? You increase the volume in a vessel, and the pressure in the vessel changes. And then when the pressure in the vessel changes, it can get into the tissues it needs to get into more readily. So when you hydrate, when you put water in your blood, you increase the efficiency at which those hydrated, nutrient-rich blood cells infiltrate the tissues that need it. So like we say hydrate, you hear it all the time. No one ever explains to you why. That's why. The volume of blood in your body matters. That's why when you go give blood, they tell you, like, drink a whole lot of water. Make sure that you're eating real food when you go give blood, because they're taking a volume of blood out of your system, and your blood vessels go from being this full to this full, but they're still this big. So that's why we can get lightheaded. That's why we can faint, right? It's just because there's not enough volume of blood. We need to hydrate so that we maintain a certain volume of blood that can infiltrate the tissues that they need to repair them. Okay? So those are the three things. Think about moving in minutes. Think about breathing, right? And filling and working your diaphragm out the same way you would work out any other muscle group. And hydrate. Right? Drink enough water that you can increase the volume of blood in your body. When you increase the volume of blood in your body, you heal. You heal faster. You do. Okay? So there you have it. Okay? If you have any specific topics you want me to cover, send me a message, drop me an email, call me, text me, send me a carrier pigeon. Okay? I am here as a resource for you and our community. I appreciate you. Thank you for spending your time, your energy, your attention with me today. Keep moving and keep getting better every day.